sky over Manhattan is among the most valuable, complex, and densely packed airspace in the world. You've even probably flown over it without ever realizing. It's one of the most complicated skies to navigate. Here's what you need to know. Every day, up to 500 airplanes crowd the airspace above New York City. More than 130 million people pass through the three major airports serving the city, JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark, every year. And that doesn't include the countless number of smaller aircraft flying in and out of the area's numerous general aviation airports and heliports. But despite the potential for chaos, everything runs smoothly. New York airspace is more valuable and complex than the rest of the country's airspace because of the sheer number of aircraft that fly through it every day. Since 1994, New York has been the world's busiest airspace for air traffic volume, with three airports, JFK, LGA, and EWR, which are only 20 to 30 kilometers apart. The area's airspace is tiny compared to the rest of the country. If you were looking at a map of the US and drew a line connecting the three airports, you'd see that the straight line is only about 120 kilometers long. That's roughly the width of 2 American football fields. Despite its small size, this airspace handles more than 1,000 flights every day. This means that the air traffic controllers who oversee the area have to be constantly vigilant. They must make sure that each aircraft follows its flight plan and maintain a safe distance from other aircraft at all times. They also have to be able to respond quickly to any changes in the airspace, such as inclement weather or an emergency landing. One of the most challenging aspects of controlling air traffic in New York is the geography. The state is home to 3 major airports that serve the New York City area: JFK International Airport, LaGuardia Airport, and Newark Liberty International Airport. In addition to the airports in the New York City area, there are over 20 smaller airports and heliports scattered throughout the state. With so much airspace, air traffic controllers must ensure that all aircraft remain safe and separated at all times. Another challenge that air traffic controllers face in New York is the weather. The state is located in one of the most volatile climates on Earth, with severe thunderstorms and snowstorms common during the winter months. These conditions make it difficult for aircraft to take off and land, and air traffic controllers must be prepared to handle delays and cancellations due to weather. Despite these challenges, air traffic controllers have managed to keep New York's airspace safe and efficient. They have developed sophisticated technologies and procedures to ensure aircraft are always separated and that delays are minimized. And when weather conditions are bad, they work closely with airlines and airports to ensure that flights are only taking off and landing when it's safe to do so. Despite the complexity of New York's airspace, air traffic controllers have managed to make it one of the safest and most efficient in the world. They do an incredible job every day to ensure that the thousands of flights that pass through New York's airspace do so safely and efficiently. They are the unsung heroes of the skies, working tirelessly to keep us safe. To understand how this is achieved, let us look at what happens when you board a flight and the role air traffic control plays in getting you from point A to point B. The first thing you'll notice when you get onto a plane is how spacious it feels. That's because air traffic control has made sure that your plane is the only one in the vicinity. The controller will keep other planes away from your plane to prevent any potential mid-air collisions. They do this by using radar to track the movement of each aircraft, and by issuing commands to pilots to maintain a safe distance from other planes. As your plane gets closer to the airport, the air traffic controller will guide you through a series of checkpoints before clearing you for landing. These checkpoints are in place to make sure that your plane is safe and that the runway is clear for landing. Once your plane has passed all the checkpoints, the controller will clear you for landing. But that's not all. Air traffic control also plays a major role in keeping the airports running smoothly. They manage the flow of traffic on the ground, making sure that planes are taking off and landing at the right time to keep the queues of arriving and departing traffic at bay. They also work closely with the airlines to make sure that delays are kept to a minimum. Air traffic control is a highly stressful job, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Knowing that they are responsible for keeping everyone safe gives air traffic controllers a sense of pride and accomplishment in their work. They're the unsung heroes of the skies, working tirelessly to keep us safe. But air traffic control isn't the only one working hard to keep the skies over New York safe and efficient. Pilots also play a vital role. Before takeoff, pilots review weather reports, flight plans, and other important information to ensure a safe flight. Once airborne, They communicate with air traffic control to receive instructions on things like altitude, speed, and direction. Pilots are also responsible for monitoring their aircraft's systems and making any necessary adjustments to keep it safe. They also must be prepared to react quickly to any changes in the airspace, such as inclement weather or a change in flight plans. Air traffic control and pilots work together to ensure the safety of the skies over New York. Their cooperation is essential to keeping the millions of people who fly in and out of the area every day safe. Over the years, several technological advances have helped air traffic control to keep the skies over New York safe and efficient. The introduction of radar in the 1930s allowed controllers to track the movement of multiple aircraft at once, making it easier to prevent mid-air collisions. In the 1980s, the introduction of computers allowed for more automation in the control process, reducing the workload for controllers and improving the accuracy of tracking. In recent years, the introduction of satellite-based tracking has provided more accurate and reliable tracking of aircraft. Additionally, the introduction of the Next Generation Air Transportation System, or nextgen, has allowed for more precise control of aircraft, reducing the amount of separation required between aircraft and increasing the capacity of the airspace. So the next time you look up in the sky over New York, remember the incredible work that air traffic control does to keep us safe. These men and women work tirelessly to keep the skies over one of the busiest cities in the world safe and efficient. Their cooperation with pilots and the use of advanced technologies allow millions of people to travel safely in and out of New York every day. So the next time you're lucky enough to experience the wonder of flight, take a moment to appreciate the incredible work that air traffic control does to keep us safe. But why is it so expensive to fly in and out of New York? Well, it's not just the airspace that's busy and complex. There's also the cost of doing business in one of the world's most expensive cities. The price of fuel, maintenance, labor, and other factors contribute to the overall cost of a flight. But one of the biggest factors is the cost of landing. The three major airports serving the New York area, JFK, LGA, and EWR, are among the busiest in the world. That means there's a lot of competition for landing slots, which are the time and location of a flight's arrival. As you can imagine, landing slots at these airports are in high demand, which drives up the cost of flying in and out of New York. So if you're planning a trip to the Big Apple, expect to pay a little bit more for your ticket. But hey, isn't it worth it? New York is one of the most exciting cities in the world, so I'm sure you won't mind paying a few extra bucks to get there. And speaking of airports, if you haven't already, check out our video on the busiest airports in the world. We go behind the scenes to see how these airports manage the crowds, the chaos and the craziness of the busiest airports in the world. So have you ever flown into New York? What was your experience like? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching.